down, I just want to say good luck to everyone too who's running. Yeah. I'll be watching you from home.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, has anyone else read or heard that there's an application now to get rid of hazardous waste? If you want to get rid of your hazardous waste, you have to apply for it, and they'll give you a time or whatever. Everybody know about that?
There's a voucher.
Yeah, you got to get a voucher.
He's getting me a mic.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask.
Okay. I am here as a member of Taylor's House. I retired from there, and Cindy and her girls took it over. And I'm here on behalf of the Knights of Columbus. I've been a strong advocate. I've supported many groups. I've sponsored many teams. I've helped out at the World Series, the Little League programs, the basketball programs to the schools. And I am a city employee for 32 years. And I feel in my heart I want to pay the Knights of Columbus their back taxes for the 2016. And I have a certified check for $1,500, so their books are paid. And the Knights of Columbus did a lot of good things to good numbers. They had the group come out and help us, and I'm so thankful by helping them. And so I'd like to present the mayor with a check for $1,500 to pay the back taxes for the Knights of Columbus. So they are a solid group once again. Thank you, Ronnie.
Well, here we go.
Yep.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is actually made payable directly to the city of Taylor, so I'm not sure, I guess I can give it to Michelle, and then she can determine how to get everything reconciled properly. So, and I know this will get them through one stretch of, I think, their challenges. So.
Could you hold on to it till tomorrow?
Let's go.
I don't have access to the vaults or anything right now, and I don't feel comfortable.
I'll try to get it anyway.
Oops.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
You can imagine my disappointment with you passing to rezone that to light industrial. I called the Public Works Department. I called them twice. And I was told by them that they would be here today at the second reading to tell you how much that property costs to maintain. Do you know? Has anyone contacted anyone here? The I-94 Beverly property.
Unfortunately, we already voted on it, and we have.
I'm sorry, but you need to, I understand that. You cannot just because you approved it does not mean that you should not be accountable for what was supposed to be here. You guys talked about this at the last meeting.
Mr. Chairman, Jason did send out an email with just these are just I believe, the cost to AKT Peerless. It did not include any of our staffing costs. But 2017 was $2,615.50. 2018 was $3,080. 2019 was $1,432.08. 2020 was COVID year, there were no costs, and 2021 was $2749.50.
And that's a whole lot less than $30,000 that we were told at the last meeting. $30,000 is what you guys heard. Nobody knew.
Well, I think including our work as well.
And you're going to say that going out there and pulling some weeds, mowing a little grass that's only out in the front,
they have to maintain the methane vents regularly.
And how much did it cost? AKT Peerless is fine, but what did it cost the city? No one answered that. If you guys had put all the passion that I just saw over these motions with these agreements into this rezoning, maybe you guys would know this. And maybe you would have thought differently about rezoning this to light industrial, but you didn't. You did not do due diligence. I wasn't angry before, but I guarantee you now I am. What you did was wrong. You just put it off. And you, through the chair, to you, the rules here state no profanity. If there's profanity, you no longer can come to a meeting. Out of his mouth, nothing was said. Perfectly okay. You have these rules for a reason. You need to follow these rules.
Agreed.
But that's his friend.
Mr. Chairman, I don't mean to interrupt the gentleman trying to come up, but I was also messaged and said somebody was here trying to get in the building around 9 o'clock and they couldn't get in. I don't know if the security guard wasn't in.
Security guard out there.
They're gone now, too, but.
So I want to know, how do you file a complaint? The developer is in breach of their conditional rezoning. There was a list of items that needed to be addressed in order for them to park cars over there, and they've met none of those conditions. So how do we find them? How do we revoke the conditional rezoning? Because they're in breach of what they said they were going to do in order to get that conditional rezoning. So how do we handle this, and who handles it?
Are you talking about the conditional rezoning that was discussed tonight?
No, I'm talking about the rezoning for the parking of the cars. So if they're in breach of that, what makes you think they're not going to be in breach of this other one that you just did? But I want to know how you're going to address the fact that they're in default in breach of what they currently signed and said they were going to do. And it's been 2 months now that they've been parking cars, 3 months, Mary?
Yeah, July.
So since July, they've been parking cars there and they haven't done a damn thing that was on that list of what they were supposed to take care of. And everyone turns a blind eye. Every meeting we come in here, we complain about the lights. There have been calls into the city making formal complaints about the lights, and none of it has been addressed or dealt with. So what needs to happen in order to address these issues?
Mr. Chairman, as of the last meeting, I reached out to Ms. Bell to try and get a response as to some of the issues that weren't being followed, okay? And was told the next day that the city has got 0 complaints through the call center, said it doesn't matter. If I look at those conditions, and based on the comments that I heard, I specifically asked, and I don't have it in front of me, but I specifically referenced conditions 2, 3, and 7. I apologize, I don't have the file here, but if these guys are supposed to have a series of conditions, based on the comments that I heard at the meeting, there's a suggestion that they're not following these conditions, and we absolutely should make them follow those conditions. And I was told that ordinance would be sent to look at the property, okay? If you're telling us that they're still in violation of that, then we will have to ask ordinance.
Do you know what those conditions were?
I don't have them in front of me. For some reason, I remember somebody
you wanna
mentioning
pull them up on your
the fencing, and I was told that they were gonna put a screen up on the fence, and then was told that a lot of residents preferred to not have that
Who did
along
they
the
speak
fence.
to? A lot of our residents.
Yeah.
So they're making up bullshit stories, and we've talked about this at every meeting. At every meeting, there's been a conversation about the light
I'll
problem,
follow up again.
and there has been formal complaints. I talked to 5 people outside that said we've called multiple times about the lights. So there's either a problem with your switchboard, communication, and part of it is the fact that who do I call? Just the general switchboard? Tell me who I'm supposed to call to address this.
Mr. Chairman, call the planning department.
The planning department.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get someone to pick up, or is it still gonna just go right to voicemail?
Well, I can't tell you, depending on what time, they're busy, but if you leave a voicemail, they'll call you back.
And then I just have one more question, and it goes back to what you guys voted on earlier. Where do I get a copy of this traffic impact report that was supposed to be done?
What I would tell you to do is simply FOIA. It's readily available, though. It can be done with a simple email transaction, but I think the best practice would be to FOIA through the clerk's office.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Nick Metricina, 9618 Cannon Circle. A question for anyone on the dais in the chair. Recently, we had a Hello City employee put on paid administrative leave. I'm not addressing this case specifically, this is a general question. Who has the deciding authority to put someone on paid administrative leave or non-paid administrative leave? And is there a good precedent set in the past to establish these policies?
He's not going to get the answer to that.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know, Sheila, if you want to answer that.
And I'm not addressing Mr. Baum directly. This is a general question on who has the authority to decide if someone goes on administrative leave.
I believe
So, you know, employee A, hey, he's a good guy, we'll put him on paid administrative leave. Employee B, yeah, this guy's kind of a jerk, we're not gonna pay him.
It's governed through the contract, but I'll let Sheila give you a definitive answer, Nick.
Through the chair, it depends on the employment terms for the employee. It could be what the collective bargaining agreement says, it could be the potential alleged violation,